coming out all about, yeah. And okay, so my first question to Afric is, who are you and what do you do?
Hello, I am Afric Crossan Wale. I am a founder director of an organisation called Forest Schools Birmingham, based in the Midlands, and I also do some work with an organisation called Wild Women Retreats, who facilitate nature retreats for women. So the whole premise of the work that I do is formed on the opinion that in order for us as a species to survive, that we need to create a really symbiotic relationship between humans and nature, and that by humans finding healing and comfort in nature, that they then feel compelled to heal nature itself. So we have learnt through, or we have evidenced through nearly 20 years now of working in the forest schools field. So forest schools being nature interaction, using the green spaces in order to create intervention projects with children. So we have evidenced over the years just the profound effects that being in nature can have on your mental health, basically. Yeah, so many years ago, so I've always recognised that there were profound things that I found very comforting in nature. So, for example, I've always recognised the profound effect, you know, watching the sunrise has had on me, and the profound effect of watching the sunset. The profound effect of standing on top of a mountain and feeling the wind blowing through your hair, and how that has affected my mental health. And then when I was younger, when I actually met you, Louise, I had a child who I recognised had some developmental issues, and I was really struggling with that. And at the time I was working as a teacher, and I was doing some community work in my local area, and somebody invited me to go to a druid camp, a nature-based druid camp. And I went to this camp, and I had the opportunity with my child to engage in a relationship with nature over a 10-day period that profoundly changed my life, because I started to look for the symbology in nature, and I started to really understand and examine the spirituality of nature, whereas before I'd only ever seen it as a vehicle for my mental health, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think for me, the big one for me is my connection with trees, really. So when I spend time under or hugging trees, I have this thing that happens where I can feel the history that has happened around that tree, and I can't quite explain it, but the first time it happened to me, I was in Wolverhampton. I had been to this druid camp for the first time, and I went to the shops, and I was walking back from the shop, and there's this big old oak tree on the side of the road, and I just thought I'll just take the opportunity to sit under this tree. And I sat under the tree, and I had this moment of awakening where I could feel myself in Victorian times and all of the people that had passed by and the life that that tree had seen. And since that experience, whenever I spend time under old trees, I get this kind of shock of awakening of everything that has gone before me, and it's almost as though I'm being told by nature that I am but a speck, you know, in the history of the world, and what has come again, what has come before will come again and will come long after, and to take comfort in that this too will pass. I think that the whole climate change argument is very complex, and I still, this may be quite controversial, I've done a lot of reading about it, and I've been on a lot of groups over the years, you know, through my work, through research, and, you know, on a personal quest to try to find answers. And I'm still unconvinced whether the Earth is going through a natural warming and we are contributing to it, or it's just that we are causing the warming. I'm still not quite sure, and I don't think that anybody with any definitivity can tell us that it's just humans. There may be a natural warming happening also, so there's that. Now I am in a place where I am not worrying about it, because I think that the importance is about the day to day and really seeing the beauty of what's happening on our planet. Because I mean, I've just come back from Wales, and I believe that the hottest temperature ever recorded was recorded in Death Valley in California last week. It was like 54.5 degrees, which is an unimaginable heat. But the weather in Wales last week was profound, and I've never experienced anything like it. And there were storms way up high in the air that I haven't seen since I was in Australia, where there was electricity held in the air, so it looked like there was light behind the clouds in the darkness. And yes, that may be caused by climate change of humans, but irrespective, I feel that we need to really revel in the beauty of it. With regards to our impact on the earth, I believe that we should live as low in a way that is as sustainable as possible, and that's what I'm trying to work through myself to get to a place of more sustainability in my life. You know, we have livestock and all of that kind of stuff, but I think that there's a big danger of people beating themselves up. I think there's lots of things going on. I think there's a danger of people beating themselves up and worrying about things that are out of their control. I think there's a lack of responsibility taken by a lot of people, especially in the higher levels of the middle classes, where they feel like it largely doesn't affect them. I feel that, you know, that it's industry that needs to be levied in order to change what's happening on the planet. And I feel that it's less about climate change and more about, you know, about understanding that we all are atomic energy. We all come from the earth. We all come from the Big Bang, and we are all of those atoms. We're all made from that atomic energy, and we come from the earth, and we are the earth, and we are returned from the earth. And that in itself means that we should honor and respect it, and that all of our actions should be done consciously. And that doesn't mean that needs to be wrapped up in guilt. It just means that you need to be conscious of the way that you're interacting. You should be conscious of the kinds of things that you're buying, mass-produced things that you're buying. Yeah, it's a big question, Lou, isn't it? It's a big question.
It is.
So I do have a challenge. So something was really recently suggested to me that I had never come across before, that I found really beautiful, and I have done it, and I would suggest that that other people have a go at it. So, as I've already said, I fully believe that the nature has the power to heal us. Now, in a quest, if you also believe that nature has the power to heal you, then I challenge you to choose some seeds of your choice. So they might be herbs, it might be vegetables, but something that's edible. And what I'd like you to do is to sit for a moment with the seeds in your palm and talk to the seeds about your health, about what's going on with you. And it can be your physical and your mental health. And then once as you've talked and you've expressed to the seeds what's going on with your physical and mental health, before you put them in the soil, I want you to put them under your tongue, so that the seeds have the opportunity to absorb your DNA and to read your genetic code and what's going on with you on a physical and mental level. And hold them under your tongue for a couple of minutes so that they can absorb that moisture from your DNA, and take them out and then put them on a little tissue and let them dry for a couple of hours. And then plant your seeds and nurture your seeds very carefully and let them grow. And then as your plant or your vegetable or your herb grows, you can either make a tincture, make a medicine out of them that you hold, knowing that you have grown those seeds specifically to your genetic code and specifically to do with a physical or mental problem that you're encountering. or just harvest them and put them on your dinner. And as you're putting what you've grown on your dinner or on your food, again, communicating with that food to talk about how it's healing you. And then just to really keep a mental note or a journal of how that process has made you feel.